Okay, here we go. So, let me go over my design strategy first. Let's go over that first. All right, the beginning of my project started here, where I came up with all these overall objectives. I got most of everything I wanted to get done. I changed to the El Guapo aesthetic from Three Amigos. I decided that last night. Just I was watching the movie and I thought, what a good idea is El Guapo, the handsome. How could you go wrong, right? So it took me a little while, a little longer to do this than I would have liked. It wasn't the easiest thing for me to do. I'm not the best at all the coding and stuff like that, but I think I am getting better. I'll go over all the documents with you real quick too, just so you can see. Here we have the original document right here. This is the El Guapo document. This is for his item, right? There's a little bit more that I need to do, but he's going to have either a bomb or a coin. The coin is going to be the regular version, and then in the Dark World, if we do have a Dark World like we did in Link, he would be also throwing a bomb at you randomly. All right, and the values are going to change depending on what what other things are going on in the game. I just wanted to leave that door open. Then here's the actual flow chart for El Guapo himself. If we look closer, we have here. If you look closer, we have the basics right here, which go into a little bit more detail. From the idle position, we're going to have the player gets detected, and he either avoids or follows, depending on how far away the player is. When the player's health gets to be a certain point, that'll trigger the ambush, which will, if successful, return back to avoid. If it does not, then it will return to death because he will die after that, hopefully. He's going to follow the player to Raycast will collide, then the trigger will move after the lower health. Here's the player's stats that are going to be involved in that. Here is the avoid, and if he's avoiding, he will drop the coin or the bomb. The bomb I just came up with last night, so it has not been added to the flowchart yet. Let's go back a little bit. All right, so let's see, where is my El Guapo flowchart? The NPC El Guapo document. Okay, so this is El Guapo, and these are what he does. This is the things he does. He follows the players outside of the player's view or range. Will only attack when the player has less than 30%. Will always avoid the player if he has more than 60%. He will drop money or bombs depending on what the occasion calls for, right? His personality, the motivation is based on he's trying to tempt you to come towards the coins, but there's going to be in the later on level, when the level is designed, there's going to be either whirlpools or quicksand, depending on if we are in the desert area or the murky mire area of the game, right? Which are these two maps down here. If we go back to these are some of the little brief descriptions down here. Now, if we go back to, let's go to Unity and see what we got going on here. Okay, we'll start with the stuff that we were given, which I used. I played with a lot of these settings in my other scene to get the gist of them. Now, this I used basically for just the direction to keep staring at the player, right? Here I have, it's kind of like a circling pattern that will, continue rotating around the player, like at distance, right? And then I wrote my own script here, which is called the Crazy Awesome script, which I'll open that up real quick for you. This was like probably my proudest thing that I did about this was, well, besides coming up with the name El Guapo. Oh man, I can't wait. Okay, so I made a transform, a speed, a couple bools, array that I never really used because we already had rays, and then a coin drop and a coin drop location. Right, so right here we have, this is just for me to spam coins. That's another cool feature I had. This is where he will actually drop a coin if I press space. This, I can click him to move directly towards or directly away from the player. And what was this one about? Oh, this is this is for avoid, this is for ambush, and this is just if you regularly want to walk. But that was just a default that I needed there. Now, if we go back to Unity, I made 3 different versions of El Guapo. I have El Guapo, and I have Jefe, and then I have his amigo finally at the end, which is these 3 different colored gentlemen right here. Oh, let me just move amigo out of the way a little bit so he's not stacked on top of Jefe. Right. So now, if you look at how they act, we're gonna see that now. Press play. Now the guys will encircle the player no matter where the player goes, right? And now I have to set up like a trigger for the health factor. Right now individually I have where I can send well, and they all have different values for this, but I can send Jefe in to attack, right? So that, or I mean amigo goes in to attack, and now he avoids, right? Now, let's say we want El Guapo to attack. El Guapo attacks, right? And El Guapo avoids, right? And now Jefe will attack, and Jefe will avoid, right? And now at any time, I can press spacebar, and these gentlemen will start chucking coins towards the player. As you can see, let me get down in this screen a little bit better so I can show you what's going on, right? I might have to change some of the speeds, and they keep jumping off of the board. I gotta fix that too. Maybe change the constraints a little bit. But they will drop coins whenever I press spacebar. Right? Now, I also was playing around with, like, let's say Jefe, right, is going to spawn amigo, right? So now what happens, which is kind of cool, is they will spin around each other, and if I want, I can have amigos spawning everywhere. I can do the same thing with El Guapo, I can do the same thing with Jefe, but it creates kind of like a cool kind of system that, and if I want to spam some coins, here's some coins. Woo! It starts chucking coins out, which could be like a last defense thing or something for the player. But regardless, wherever the player moves, we got these guys chasing him around, right? No matter which way he goes. They have different speeds, different colors, and different behaviors, slightly variants, just so we know the difference of them, right? And now let's say we can have all of these guys attack right now. They're all gonna pick. Oh, they start throwing them up in the air. That's why that's happening. Okay, I see that. Now, I made the coin. I made the bull, the coin drop, all this stuff, right? So that we can do, like, where's this at coin? Put the coin back in here. Now we start pressing play. We start throwing coins out. The thing is, they all act together now, and you see it could totally start hoarding or, like, you know, overwhelming the player if I use that spawning mechanic. But I didn't want to overwhelm with too many different features at the time. But I like that I could create 3 different versions. If you can see here, you got El Guapo version 2, you got Jefe version 1, and you have, where is the other guy? Oh, and then the Amigo version 1. So the plan was, I didn't think I was going to make the deadline for all of the different features that I wanted to add, but I put a lot of extra time into it yesterday, and I got everything done that I wanted to get done. So I'm pretty excited about the next part that I'm going to be going through, which is going to be the level, which originally I wanted it to be like a water-based level, which I have a map for. If I look over here, right? Where's it at? Okay, here's the map that I was going to use, but instead, instead of using this map, I am going to use, where is it? It's in my other drive. What did I just do here? Okay. Close this. Drive. Okay, so if we look at my other account, it should be right here. Okay. Reset. Underwater temple. Okay. Open. Okay, so this was going to be the original idea, but it was a map that I had made, and you know it was kind of going to be a basics for this this first character, but instead I'm going to use it for my Dungeons and Dragons game on Monday because it doesn't really fit with the within the creative intent. So I'm going to change it up and make a new map for the where is it, the right here, kind of based around this type of strategy right here, right? So hopefully by the time that you see the next video, all of the other features that I need will be put in place. Do you know what I'm saying? So hopefully not hopefully, you definitely will see all of this when it finally comes together and gels into one beautiful piece of work. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope to see you next time I make a video. Have a good one.